What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Agnetha Faltskog, which is to say we're returning to solo Agnetha's material, 1983, Wrap Your Arms Around Me. Once again, big shout out to Shafiq, as well as all those who've shared material related to ABBA or indeed to Frida. And yeah, the next tune on Wrap Your Arms Around Me is Shame, a single word title. It's a very meaningful word, which is to say shame related to embarrassment, humiliation. And I have always been interested by the way in which shame is technically independent from whatever scorn or disdain is coming from other people, which is to say shame tends to happen when one's actions or statements have led to other people being upset, angry, or bothered, and indicating that, or maybe sometimes not even overtly or explicitly, but there's a sense, a perception by the person who has engaged in some sort of behavior that is then seen as unpleasant by some, if not all. But there's some sense that they are being judged, they are being perceived in a negative way, and because of that they feel embarrassment, they feel humiliated, they feel shame. But again, that is a psycho-emotional experience that is in your head and is technically independent from whatever views or judgments others have, or the actions or statements that led to them viewing you in that way. So it is something that's happening in your own head, even if it can relate to actions out in the real world. Now, shame can be felt for reasons, let's say, more sincere or more appropriate rather, or less appropriate, which is to say sometimes people may place too much stock in what others are saying or doing based upon their perception of the individual in question, though perhaps there are others who far too often disregard any and all outside feedback, if you will. So again, shame, it depends on the context and it depends on the person. You know, perhaps some people psycho-emotionally will suffer more because of shame than others. So all this is implied by the word shame, but as to the way it'll play out in the particular song, I suppose we will have to see. This is Agnetha from her album 1983, Wrap Your Arms Around Me. Excuse me, and the tune is Shame. Bit of gospel pop vibes. We got two gears to this one. Like that too. She's the one who feels another should have shame.
Someone's gonna lose. Yes, I
claim ignorance. Should know better. Definitely some like gospel soul feelings in this one. It's the kind of voice you could listen to whenever. But seriously, sounding fantastic in her vocals. As I said, we had two major tempos and gears when it first kicked into that faster tempo with the first iteration of the chorus. That was a shock. I was not ready for that, but I love it, and I enjoyed the way it parachutes back down to the slower tempo, then kicks it back up again. And yeah, like cool sonic work in the background, the sort of keyboard, like organish type of sounds. Ultimately, it's interesting because I was thinking about shame as, you know, an internal feeling felt by the potential narrator or protagonist, but it's the other way around. She's saying that this other person has behaved disreputedly, and given that, you know, they were raised and taught what was right and wrong and so on, they should know better. You're not supposed to treat someone's emotions and other people's lives in a romantic sense like they're just something to be played with and then discarded and something to move on to the new flavor of the month. And indeed, like, even though it's more about what this guy has done to her, she's also saying, like, you're playing with this other woman's life too, and someone's gonna lose, and, you know, I know who that is. So it's interesting because I don't know, like, maybe I just didn't hear it, but is she saying it's definitely her? Is she saying it's definitely the guy? Because if you do this for long enough, it's going to come back on you. You know, the karmic justice of the happenings of the dating world will perhaps fall in upon him. Or is she saying it's the other woman? Like, there's no way I'm going to be beat out by this young person that you've been spending time with. Again, it feels like it's any one of those possibilities is an interesting variant, though I don't know if I heard the clear answer. But either way, the dynamic seems pretty clear that this guy used to have a special connection with her. He's moved on. There's some other woman that he's spending time with, and she's basically saying, like, how can you just do that and not be embarrassed or humiliated by the way you've behaved? Like, you just shamelessly go on to that. You don't even feel bad. You're not even like, okay, I acknowledge this isn't my best moment or whatever. So there's what's the right word? A disbelief, an incredulity, I suppose, that this guy is behaving in this way seemingly without any self-reflection. So yeah, it was sort of the concept I was thinking about, but turned in a completely different direction. And ultimately, it feels like the type of dynamic that you find in some ABBA songs, where like it's complicated, you know, because that's what she's saying. I love that. I'm glad that spurred me to remember that bit about, like, look, this isn't make-believe, this is real. So, you know, like, you have this notion of, like, you're telling yourself this story that you're this dashing guy and, you know, you're with the most beautiful women, but this is like this isn't a story, like, and these are real emotions. This is a real person's heart that you're messing with. So, like, you know, while you're out playing this fantasy and, you know, trying to be this libertine or whatever, people are actually going to get hurt because of this. So I think a cleverly written song, and then mixing that with, again, sort of the gospel vibes and the chorus and the choral, like, singing behind her. It was really cool arrangement. So top tune, one that surprised me in terms of the dual tempos, and once again, her voice always sounds fantastic. So as I said, shout out to Shafiq, shout out to all the people who've been following the ABBA journey and are going to continue with the Agnetha and maybe Frida as well. I suppose, like, most people who follow ABBA are interested in both of their side journeys. I'm guessing there's some who prefer one versus the other. People have mentioned Agnetha's material sonically is kind of more in the lane that ABBA was doing, whereas Frida's material, at least what I'm going to be going through the, you know, solo English material post ABBA, it goes in some different directions, takes some more chances, so to speak. So either way, I'm up for both of it, or for both of them, and I'm very much enjoying the opening to this album. So let me know if you agree. I will see you next time. Peace.